Okay, let's talk about finding the mean when you've got grouped data. Now remember, grouped data is when you have like a range of things to choose from. So let's draw up a little table. Oh, wonky, wonky table. Oh, terrible table. Oh man, I'm not doing very well at this, am I? Let's call this one the frequency, and this can be the class interval. Okay, so these are the numbers we have to choose from. So let's start at 0. We'll go from 0 to 9. We'll go from 10 to 19, 20 to 29, and 30 to 39, okay? Now, the frequency is how many scores there are in this range of values. Because if we've got like 40 numbers to choose from, or 39, you don't really want to have to make a table with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way to 39. That's a really big table. So sometimes we group our data in groups of 10 like this, so that we don't have to write as much stuff. So how many scores are there in between 0 and 9? Well, I'm just going to make them up, okay? All right, let's do that. So how many things have we got? We've got 4 numbers, so it's not like there's a 4 in here. There are 4 values in between 0 and 9. There are 3 values in between 10 and 19, 7 values between 20 and 29, and there are 6 different values between 30 and 39. That's what this is telling us. So if we're going to find out the mean of this data, remember that means the average, so we need to find out the mean. We need to find out some other things first. So we're actually going to, if I can manage to change the colour on this thing again, why won't it let me do that? Grrr! I don't know why it's not letting me. Okay, so let's create an extra 2. Ooh, I've ended up with a mouse pointer that I don't want. That's annoying. Okay, let's create an extra 2 tables. So we're going to call this one X, and we're going to call this one XF. I'll tell you why in a second. X is going to be the middle of our class, okay? The exact middle of these ranges. So from 0 to 9, the exact middle would be 4.5, okay? So we're just going to divide them in half, divide them by 2. Yep, 14.5, 24.5, and 34.5. Okay, the exact middle of our classes. Now XF, remember when there's no sign, when we're talking about algebra, it just means times. So it just means X times F. So we're going to do 4 times 4.5, okay? I'm going to get my calculator out so I can do it a lot faster. Well, not that I need it for the first one, but anyway. So we've got 18 for this one. Then we'll do 14.5 times 3 for the next one, which gives us 43.5. For this one here, we're going to do 24.5 times 7, which gives us 171.5, which does not look like 171, but you know what I mean. Then we'll do the last one, 34.5 times 6, which gives us 207. Okay? Now what we're going to do is we need to make sure we know how many values we have all together. So let's add these up because we want a cumulative frequency, which means we add them up as we go. 4 plus 3 is 7, plus 3 is 14, plus 3 plus 7 is 14, plus 6 is 20. So we have 20 values altogether, okay? So what we're going to do to find the mean, we want to find, remember this is just a fancy sign for sum of, we want the sum of the column XF, so we're going to find out what this equals, all of them added up, and we're going to divide it by the sum of F, the sum of this column. Now we've already worked that one out, haven't we? We've worked out that that equals 20. Now all we need to do is add up this column here, okay? So we've got 18 plus 43.5 plus 171.5 plus 207, and that equals 440. Okay, and then we figure out what that is, which is 22. Okay, so 22 is our average, that's our mean. Now that just happens to be a nice round number without any decimal points, which is good for us. So the mean of this group of data, the average is 22. That is the average score if you take all of these things into consideration. Now, why don't we have a look at what our mode. Remember we talked about mode being the most common. When we're talking about group data, we use the phrase modal class because these are class intervals. So it means the same thing, mode, modal class. We're just talking about more than one thing. So what that means is which of these groups has the most stuff in it. So which one has the highest frequency? Well, the 7 is here. That is the highest number we have. So this group here must be our modal class, okay? 20 to 29 is our modal class because it's got the most stuff in it. Then what we're going to do is find our median. So which class has our median number in it? So remember what we're going to do is n plus 1 over 2. That's what we always do. So 20 plus 1 over 2. N is 20 because here there are 20 things altogether. Okay, our frequencies all added up are 20. There are 20 values. So 21 divided 2, 10.5. Okay, so that does not mean, remember that does not mean that 10.5 is our median. It means it's the 10.5 term, which is a weird thing to say, but you know what I mean. 10.5th term, okay? So let's have a look at where that would be. So we've got 4 here. We're up to 7. It must be in this class again, okay? Once we get our 10.5, our 10.5th term is in this class, so we know it's somewhere between 20 and 29, all right? So that is where our median is. We're going to look at a cumulative frequency graph in the next video to find out how we can find exactly, we can look a bit closer at what the median might be, okay? So that was 7.2. The next one we're going to look at is 7.3 in terms of exercises in the book.